What's up? How you doing? This is Miguel. You're watching Tito Talks Non-Life Insurance Discussions. We're happy to have you on board with us today. Tito Talks Non-Life Insurance Discussions is a channel that is all about making non-life insurance topics easy to understand for both agents and clients. So if you're any one of these people trying to navigate your way through a policy, trying to explain a policy to your clientele, you're at the right place and we're glad to have you here. And if you like this kind of content, please feel free to leave a subscribe and click on the bell notification icon to let me know or to let you know when I come out with something new. And as for today, something new for you guys I have, which is actually a little bit of a segue. This one's for my this one's for my this one's for I'm so sorry. This one's for all of you motorcycle owners out there in the room right now. Hi, I hope you're driving safely. I hope you guys have insurance. We've compiled a list of some of the most popular questions that we get from motorcycle owners regarding insurance. And yes, one of these questions has something to do with dun 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 barriers. Yes, the ever so complicated, ever so funny, ever so controversial, and ever so technical barriers. A lot of memes have been made, a lot of posts have been made, a lot of complaints have been made, but yes, they are there. They're already part of the law, and we're already seeing them out on the road. So, probably the first question that you're asking, or probably the first question that you're wondering is, if I get into an accident and I do have a barrier, does this affect my insurance policy? Will I still be able to claim despite having a barrier installed or despite wearing a barrier on my back? And the answer to that question is generally yes. You can be covered. You will be covered if you get into an accident, whether it's third party bodily injury, or you damage your motorcycle, or you damage someone else's property. Yeah, you will be covered even if you're using a barrier. However, there's a very thin line that is drawn between what kind of barrier that you have. And based on what I'm seeing right now, based on what we're seeing right now, you've got two types of barriers that are out right now. The first type is, I think, the one that's most common, the barrier that you wear on your back, when the one that the rider wears on their back. So it's like a strap, it's like a really flat backpack. That shields the back of the rider. Now, if the rider wears the barrier, then that means the barrier is not considered part of the vehicle, and therefore it's not considered as part of the coverage. So that means it doesn't affect the compensability of the claim at all. And I do understand, yeah, there are some counter arguments that say that the barrier provides wind resistance, which affects driving. The barrier provides weight differences, which affects driving performance. There are weight differences provided by the barrier that may make driving unsuitable. And while these are all up for debate and still highly technical, and the word on them isn't final yet, fact remains though, since the barrier is not a part of the motorcycle, then yes, the insurance policy will cover the damages to the motorcycle. However, if the barrier gets damaged as well during the accident, tough luck, because that's not covered by the policy either. So you're gonna have to buy a new barrier, so to speak. Now, what if, and for the second type of barrier, what if the barrier is installed into the motorcycle, kinabit na po sa motor, and it is now considered as part of the motorcycle? Will the claim be paid? Now it's in that type of form. Hindi na po sinusuot, kinabit na po sa motor. And the answer to that question is it'll really depend on how the installment was done. If the installment was done in such a way that the roadworthiness? Yes, roadworthiness of the vehicle has been compromised. And when we say roadworthiness, it's how worthy for the road a motorcycle is. So how fit it is to go on the road. When the installation does not interfere with the roadworthiness of the motorcycle, then it's all right. Your claim will most probably be covered. It will be paid for. However, if the installation was found to be um, in direct contrast with the roadworthiness of the motorcycle. It conflicted. It affected the roadworthiness of the motorcycle. And examples of these could be if the installation interfered with how the wheels work, how the engine works, if it blocked a specific exhaust port of the motorcycle, if it blocked a specific function of the motorcycle. These all contribute to the roadworthiness of the vehicle. And if after investigation done by adjusters or technical consultants that the company may hire, then there's a chance that the claim might not be paid for because the installation was not done properly, or the installation has affected and contributed probably to the accident. And that's something really, really important to note. And that takes care of the big question right there out now. But we've got a couple of more questions here. Let me just take a look at my list here. Question number 2: what if I allow my friend to borrow my motorcycle for a short time, just to say they wanted to use it to go somewhere quick to buy something, and they got into an accident? Are they covered, or will my insurance policy cover the damages? And again, I return the question: what type of damages are you talking about? If it is CTPL, and that means damages to bodily damages to third parties. If it is damages, or if you're talking about damages to the motorcycle as well, or damage to other person's properties, then you will be covered, or your friend will still be covered, as long as they are authorized drivers of the motorcycle. And we mentioned the authorized driver clause of insurance in one of our earlier videos. Let me put a link up right there on the top screen, and I'll I'll include the link on the bottom in the description as well. That dictates if you're an authorized driver of the vehicle in question, you will still enjoy the same benefits. You won't. The insurance company will take care of the indemnification, provided that you are an authorized driver. And to become an authorized driver, you need to ask for permission from the owner. Kailangan alam ng may-ari. And also, kailangan po may lisensya po na hindi expired, and akma ang restriction code sa tipo ng sasakyan na nabanggit. So since we're talking about motorcycles, your license restriction code has to be appropriate for motorcycles as well. Kindly take note of that, and that takes care of that second question. Next question: are my replacement parts also covered by the policy? And the answer to that question is yes, if you have a comprehensive insurance policy for your motorcycles. And yes, motorcycles can also get comprehensive insurance policies. While they may not be as expensive as a full sedan, there's still assets that can be insured up to the full extent that a company can provide. So if in the event na magka-aksidente and the motorcycle needs replacement parts, yes, the insurance company will be able to honor these replacement parts, at pwede nilang bayaran po ang mga parts, especially if it's needed by the motorcycle to be repaired. All right. Now, with respect to that as well, so we've covered barriers, we've covered replacement parts, we've covered borrowing motorcycles. Next off, what about people riding with me? What if I get into an accident at na-injure ang aking pasahero, yung nakaangkas po sa akin? And let's assume you're using a barrier as well. Covered po ba ang aking angkas sa aking insurance? And the best way to answer this question is to throw back another question. Does your insurance policy have coverage for passengers on the motorcycle with you? If it doesn't, then it's not covered. If it does, and there are insurance companies that provide personal accident riders on their motorcycle policies that cover the passengers, yung angkas, kung nabanggit po yan, yes, it is, or these people are covered. But then again, you will have to check your policy. You will have to double check with your provider or your agent and confirm that your motorcycle policy does have coverages and stipulations that that provide benefits para po sa nakaangkas po sa inyo. It'll depend from insurer to insurer, from product to product. So you might want to have to read your policy to answer that question. And then next off, let's talk about our last question for this day before I let you guys go. Does my personal accident insurance, which we talked about already, does it cover me? Or does any of my claims, or will any of my claims be paid for if I'm not wearing a helmet? And Much to my surprise, though, when I discovered the answer to this question, the very obvious answer to that question is actually no. Even if it was an accident, even if it was not your fault, if you had been caught driving without wearing a helmet, that's actually already against the law, and it already goes against the motorcycle clause of your insurance policy, which dictates that you should be following the law when using the motorcycle. And part of that law dictates that you have to be wearing a helmet. That means there are almost every certain aspect of your insurance policy goes out the window. The only thing you'll probably be able to claim for is your CTPL benefit, yung compulsory third-party liability, because that's not meant to pay for you, that's meant to pay for the third party that you actually hurt. But what about damages to your motorcycle? Damages to other people's property? Damages to other people that exceed the CTPL? Will those things be paid for? Absolutely not, if you're not wearing a helmet. So on top of keeping you safe, helmets also make sure that your policy still helps you out in your most dire circumstances. And you may be wondering, I'm pretty sure you have this question, paano kung nagdadrive ako sa subdivision tapos bawal yung helmet? Ay, paano yun? Pag nabangga po ako doon, bawal helmet. Pag nagsuot ako helmet, bawal doon. Eh, bawal pala magsuot ng helmet. Covered pa ba ako? And that's actually a valid question. It does have valid points. What if you are riding in an area? What if you are driving in an area that prohibits helmets for security purposes? There are a lot of places like that. So you've got a lot of subdivisions, private villages that have this particular rule. Whenever a motorcycle enters the area, they have to take off their helmet and follow strict speed limitations. Kasi po may mga security cameras po ang mga villages na ito, and they have to see the people entering and leaving the premises. So, what if I get into an accident and I'm inside such an area where I'm not supposed to wear a helmet, but I got into an accident nonetheless? That's okay. It's fair game. Your claim will still be paid for. However, you would have to provide proof, written proof, explicit proof that provides evidence that you really were, or this particular area in which the accident happened really does not allow helmets. So it'll be up to you to provide proof of that. And with that being said, let's close off our discussion for today. I hope you learned a lot of things from our discussion about about owning your motorcycle in relationship to your insurance. Don't worry, we'll come out with more FAQ type videos in the future. And I hope you enjoyed this content that we have made for you today. And I hope that you guys leave a like and leave your comments and suggestions on these videos. I would love to hear from you guys, especially if you've got questions or concerns that you'd like for me to tackle in my next video. Because, you know, I need to make content. So if you've got suggestions, questions, or concerns that you'd like for me to tackle in a video, please let me know. I would love to hear from you guys. And one more time, this is Miguel. You've watched Tito Talks, non-life insurance discussions, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.